This is day 1327 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, and our learning should be a schus for Misro. Today we are doing you're there Siman Reish Aleph, Sif Kuf Aleph, Tu Kuf Zayin. Kuf Aleph. We're going through the various places in the Mishnayos and Mikvos about Koyach Adam. Shlishis, the third place to discuss it. I'm sorry, Kankani b'toch hamikvah the chasman. Somebody's putting his containers into the mikvah in order to be chosim them. Klomar shivlu b'mayim. In other words, that they should be absorbed with water. So that they should not absorb wine when you put wine into them. Presumably the pottery. Nismalu mayim. The pottery jugs came full of water. Alpha bisha bola mikvah is made more. V'lo yishar mayim b'mikvah is less mashal kankanim. Even though it's really not bola mikvah's made but the kankanim absorb the water of the mikvah, and there's no water in the mikvah besides what's absorbed into the jugs. You can break the jugs of mayim, and you can nikvi mehem, and the water which gathers flowing from the pottery kshem are kosher for the mikvah. So here is a bigger condition in previous cases. It's true he didn't have in mind that they should become filled with water. But he had in mind that they should become suffused with water. And even though it seems to be the same as the previous cases, nevertheless there's a chiddush here which wasn't in those cases. He also didn't say that you should turn them sideways. They have time she's border because the reason which we're going to see. But you should know the issue in the dafka was there. Cloud kosher. And some people say, in this scenario, even though there's no mikvah water left in the mikvah, it's kosher. However, in the case where you were plastering and the water got into the bucket in the previous case, so she might mishu b'mikvah. Some waters you made the mikvah, and they should be sayad because she satisfies the day of them. That case, it's a little bit like Tfisa Sidei Adam, I guess because it goes into his bucket. Titu Zem L'Sharama, they infer this to the Rama Shebsarkosab, Sheyesh Bot Tzitz Rov HaMikveh, that in the bucket you have most of the mikveh. Actually, to my Nishar mikveh, it sounds like at least some of the water remains in the mikveh. But Kan Kosav Abi Shalom Nishar mikveh Klamayim, he says even though no water is left in the mikveh. Now here's the point to him. This is astonishing. First of all, Bama Yesh beside Yosef Tfisa Sidei Adam. Why in the case of the plaster or the previous if it's any more Tfisa Sidei Adam human control than there is here. Whichever way you look at it. If it's considered to be human control, then what difference to make there's a little bit of water left? Rambam, it doesn't say anybody in Farshah the Mishnah learned this way. Also, the Tana normally says not only this but even this. So therefore, we should assume that this halach which appears later in the Masech. There's a Yesher Busiosa. There's a bigger condition. For MS Kane, this is the truth. Like we explained, Rov, which Rambam says when in the case of the side, in the case of plaster, most went to the bucket, or the milsuk time, just a normal way of the way it happens. Since there's only one bucket here, mikvah fit into it. Even most of the mikvah doesn't get into it usually, as understood. But this says to tell us that even though there's only a little bit left in the kosher, it's true also, nothing remains at all. What difference to make if it's a little bit or nothing? With the jugs, theoretically, when there are a lot of jugs, not drugs, it's possible, or all the waters in the mikvah will enter into it. Kuf base. Varvis, the fourth case is Beperek Daled. The fourth Beperek of Mikvos, Mishnah Aleph. Hamaniach came tachas etzino. He put vessels under a pipe. Shekavos of chakako. The pipe was first embedded and then engraved, carved lekabel meimov in order to receive water. The mikvah which will fall into the mikvah. The rain will fall into the pipe, and from the pipe to vessels. Now, from the vessels to the mikvah. If you left them there at the time that it was cloudy, rain clouds, the rain came down, they came filled up. It's considered to be that it was deliberate on your part, and that makes them mayim shumim. Avim lo but there wasn't yet rain clouds at the time that you left them there. But then later on, clouds came and they got filled from those clouds. Or even you left that time when there were clouds. So but they scattered. Then they gathered again. Then rain came down, they came filled. Lo chashiva ledas. Not going to be deliberate. Even though he left them there with the intent of the water. Nevertheless, came she spies or having once the clouds dispersed. And certainly be left in there at the time they were dispersed. These battle machshavto is thought as nullified. Can't be the extreme labid day totally. Since coming the rain, it's nothing to do with him. Below that, it's like somebody forgets a vessel in the chutzner. Smile of mine, because full of water. Low down it's not like somebody putting a vessel underneath a spring. Shabbat mine told clay that the water should come into the vessel. The apostle even after they left the clay. The Mayan b'didei totally. The Mayan is under your control to determine where to put it and that the water should go into it. Mashiach become as opposed to by rain. So what you do now? Since if you pick them up, they're going to become puzzle. Use brain, break them, or turn them on the side. Like the first Mishnah in Sif Tzadik Ches. The case of leaving the kankanim at the top of the roof, the nakbon in order to dry them off. Okay. Pirusho kevesham, and it appears in the same interpretation. B'da shalazel shitas harosh batur v'shulchan sif memalav, which means kuf gimel aval shitas harambam. The Rambam shita perik dala. Okay, it's not like that. But meiniach tas at tzidor. If you leave it under the pipe, it's also no matter what. Pirusho tas at tzidor, even you forgot them under the pipe, because we make a decree lest you come to leave them there. Rak b'meiniach b'chotzer, only leave it out in the courtyard. When there's no rain clouds. So B'shas Kishor, at the time when there are rain clouds, when they scatter, when they smile, and then they come back together and fill the vessels. Shame, that's kosher. But he left them when they were cloudy. Arukh HaShulchan and rain came down and they became full. Puzzle, it's puzzle. If you forgot them there, don't put them deliberately at the time that there were clouds, because you're not too many. We make a decree you can't use them lest you come to leave it there deliberately. What can you do? Yishbor Yichver can break them or turn them sideways. And this halacha, there's more of it in all the other cases. Left them in order to get filled. She's but his original thought was nullified, which has piece of oven when this cloud scattered, or nicham which has piece left in there when they were scattered. And even though you had das, since it's it's not within his hands to determine, as opposed to a spring, because it's shlodas, it's called shlodas. Kuf dal. You should know the meminiach kankani b'rosh hagag. Somebody who leaves the jugs that had the roof on top of the roof with nagvon, and then to dry. There's somebody who leaves under the pipe or in the courtyard. The Tana tells us the eitzah of turning them sideways. Mashiach B'siyah, as opposed to the case of the plasterers, the Shol Hatzitz Babor, who left his bucket in the well. Messiah and the case of person arranges his jugs in the mikvah, they chasm so he should absorb water. Tana doesn't mention turning them sideways. Arukh HaShulchan left it here to explain us why. The Gdolim, the Beis Yosef, and the Taz explained the Mahach Lo Mahani Kfiyah. These cases, putting outside doesn't work. Because because here there's more human control. In the back it says here, "Vatas kosav asai." The tas writes it's in the plaster. But you have to say it's also going on the person who put the vessels in order to get them full of water. That's because of base Yosef. Certainly, attached to because it's not clear why it does not mention this. Now, he is 90 more. According to what my understanding is very difficult. There'll be Nichon, Tachas Atzin, if you leave them on the pipe, Yesh, Yosef, Chashash, there's more of a concern in any of these cases. For Tfisas Yad Adam. We can't come Moilak Fia, Hashem Roseh Solamayim, because he had a mind to get the water. Come nevertheless Moilak Fia, it works to turn them sideways. Because so it certainly should work in these cases. Because I look Kasha Club. But in the core, it's not difficult. If man receives like this, I'll be a rush of a rab, the Perusha Kfir, who shall load inside a mikveh. To lie them down means not towards the mikveh. From there, where they're pointing to the direction, the water will flow on the ground to the mikveh. You can it's only possible when the kankanim were not already in the bore. When they're ready in the bore, there's no amshach to be had, right? On the top, the rooftop of the chutzner or the yard, the top sitting underneath the pipe. Avo b'sayid, but in the case of the plaster, and the person who put his jugs in the well, there's no such thing as laying it down, not towards the mikveh. That's why there's no way to fix it with lying them down. Yes, it certainly seems clear. Very good. Kufay, halacha b'sugi b'chol shas. It's halacha which is paskin throughout shas. The shlosh lugi ma'im shuvim postas on mikvah. 3 lug of drawn waters pass a mikvah. Can't perk out they do this. The zel gzeder abans gzeder aboran. Tam gzera, but beyond to see if you doubt ayin sham. They explain the reason. The lama goes or she said why the shim shin the shlosh lugin yesh mer chashivas. 3 lug has a significance. So only minasachim karban sibor that they serve as nesachim in a carbon sibor. Here it says in this game chatzi yahin, revi sahin akevas yain. Shlosh lugin revi sahin. So the revi sahin, which is for of wine for a sheep or a lamb, for a lamb or a goat actually. That's the same. The reason is 3 lug, and that's the minimum amount for the sachim. So that's the minimum shear of chashivas. That is evidently from the Ravid and Edios. But we should shlosh lug. I did not know that. But the shlosh lug yeshir lishtov kaguf. That's because the 3 lug, which is about the 36 ounces, I think, according to Chaim Noah. There's enough to a little bit more, 40 ounces, to rinse up the entire body. The time said Gazi Yichas Davar Betar Shinaflo Lev Shlosh Lugim Ma'in Shuvim. That's why in the 18 Xeris at the end of first parak of Shabbos they included somebody upon whom 3 lugim of drawn water fell is considered tummy. They show a dark lishtov kufam b'shlosh lugim. That's how they used to rinse the body with 3 lug mine. Nikim of clean water. Chashat tov mikveh srucha. After they went to discussing mikveh, Shabbos, like I said, Shabbos Tavidat. So there's enough to rinse the body. It's also the Russian he writes the Mordechai named Rabbeinu Tam the Shlosh Lugi Halacha Moshe Sinai. It's not learned from the Sachim as a Shir Chashivas, but it's Halacha LaMoshe Sinai. Kuvav, but after Mikvah Chasem Arbaim Saw Post Shlosh Lugi. So if the Mikvah is still lacking 40 saw, that's 3 lugim Mayim Shuvim Pasal. Mikvah Sheish Bar Mayim Saw. The Mikvah already has 40 saw of rainwater. Ain't Kol Mayim Shuvim Shavel Postel. So no amount of drawn water passes it. Mutzagam L'Chatchil Tema Mikvah Sheish Bar Mayim Saw. And you're allowed even literally to put a mikvah which already has 40 saw of rainwater. Mayim Shuvim Afilu 1,000 seed, even 1,000 seed of Mayim Shuvim. Also 3 lug only passes by a mikvah made of rainwater. Have a mind, but in spring I feel aim bar by him. So even if there isn't 40 saw, and a mayim shumim poskim also will poskim. According to most poskim, the mayim shumim does not pass that mikvah. That mayim. But I feel that term the gam mayim but tzorich by him. So it's that's all them. Even though all they need 40 saw even in a spring for the tefillah of a human being. Come mayim shumim and poslim. So nevertheless, there's no psul of mayim shuvim. You need 40 saw, but they don't have to be. They can be shuvim. But after the contrary, mayim betar kol mayim. The Mayan up Matari here means to make suitable for a mikveh, not necessarily Tara literally, although it can do that too. They make tar or water. Iboto, they came into him. Or chibur lamai, or you connect them to the spring. But chibur kishresna with the connection of the shvov hair. So no, and even literally you can put in him as much drawn water as you want. Zeu shekos v'atuv shenolasiv tezvav zeu shonim. That's what they write. Mikvah shishbar boim saw mikvah chest 40 saw umayon koshu and a mayon which is even a negligible shear, so not necessarily 40 saw. You can draw as much water as you want. Put into them. They remain kosher. Even though there's more of the drawn water than there was rainwater or mikveh or mayan water to begin with. By a mayan, doesn't matter what came first. The drawn water before the spring, or the spring before the drawn water. The mayan the spring restores the status even of shuvim which were there first. Which were basically wells in the ground, have the same status. The Gemara is bar that also because they said that rivers and wells which are dug in the ground have the status of a spring. The call or water in the ground is spring water. Except for water which is which is puddles on the ground. Tina can make sure that's rainwater. Cannot break out the mikvah. So and he says explicitly what's made tamtios. It's rain which comes on the mountain, on the hills. They actually they come from the rain directly down and go into the ground, but then they immediately bubble up. After the rain stops, and the hills stop flowing with water. So the May Thompson, which comes afterwards, has a din of May Shami, the water which doesn't come from a spring afterwards, but immediately comes out from the ground. Kufzain. V'zeu das Rava Seinu. This is the opinion of most of the rabbis. Shemayin apshu postim b'bayim saw. A mind even less than 40 saw. Ein meshuim postim so. Drawn water is not possible. Zeu shishnim mikvos berakab mishazayin. That's who learn in mikvos. Mayin shemei mo muatim. If you have a spring which has little water, v'rola mayim shuvim, and you put in there more drawn water. Shava lemikvah, it is equivalent to the mikvah. The tar b'ashbora that is matar stationary. We saw already. In terms of whether the water can be flowing or not, it can't. It's like a mikveh. It has to be stationary. It's not like a spring. But also, you can't tell when the water is flowing. Where he explained that when there's more rainwater than spring water or river water, of a shem mayim mimenu. It was a shem mayim. Mikveh ksheri, but still mikveh kosher when the water is standing and not flowing. I never found any one of the poskim who says that a mayon is a spring comes possible with contact with the drawn water. And it's like the psak like we wrote. However, we'll see in Kuf Ches, it's not necessarily so pashut. But Kuf Ches, I believe, is tomorrow. Yes.